Okay, today we're going to the halacha of we spoke yesterday about different minhagim about eating rice or other kitniyot on Pesach. So it's very common that some people just say that's our minhag and they do what they want to do. That's nishazoi pashut, depends where you live, and depends the minhag amokim. It's a whole beginning of Perek Revi in Pesachim. It says mokem shenohagu l'asas malacha be'arbe Pesachim at chatzois oisim. Mokem shenagu shelo l'asas and oisim. So it talks about minhagim over there. Mikar adin erev Pesach after chatzois we're not allowed to work. But the time we used to bring korban Pesach, it was a Yom Tov because anybody brings a korban, it's a Yom Tov for him. So even though we don't have korban Pesach now, but the Isur Melacha still remains Erev Pesach after Chatzos. It's a lot more stricter than any other Erev Shabbos for Yom Tov. And before, in the morning already, there's some minhagim not to do Melacha because people are busy with preparing for Pesach, because they have to start the Seder right away as soon as you come home. So many people had the minhag not to do Melacha even before Chatzos, and the Mishnah says, Mokem shenagu lasas Melacha, you do Melacha Erev Pesach till Chatzos, Mokem shenagu you don't do. Now, here's what we need from this Mishnah for us. It says, if somebody goes from one place to another, and where he comes from, it's another minhag. Where he goes, it's a different minhag. So it says over there, the Mishnah says, "Noisim olav chumra mokem sheyotzo misham v'chumra mokem sholach l'sham." So you have to be machmir both ways. If by you where you come from they don't work, you don't work. Also, even the work where you're going to, and something the other way around. If by you where you come from they don't work, but where you go to they work, you cannot work. So mashma you machmer. So that's the Mishnah, and I'll tell you this is a very, very complex sugya, and I can tell you this is one of the halachas that most people paskin for themselves at most time. Legabe coming to this inyanim, what you do if you have your own minhagim, you're going to somewhere else. It applies putting tefillin in a shul. They don't put tefillin during Chol HaMoed. It applies people that are traveling from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz and vice versa, Lagabe, if they keep 1 day or 2 days, and many, many more halachas. With the minhagim are different minhagim, and most of those halachas, most people paskin for themselves how to do things. So we're going to see now in halacha what appropriate to do. It says like this. So the Tur says, "Hoylech mokem shenagu asas l'mokem shelanagu o ifchem yesh lo asas kimena mokem shenishadaita lishtakeh sham." If you're going to a place not as a guest, but you're going to settle in a place, so then you're going to do like according to this place. Im daita lishtakeh mokem shabo sham yasakim minhagam ben lechumra ben lekula. So if you're going to a place to settle over there, you have to go. If you're coming to not just as a guest, but you're going to settle there, you have to do kiminig ansha mokim like this place, whether it's lechumra or lekula. So it comes out like this. Let's take now again. We're talking about rice. So if somebody would go, which is the poskim discussed that, there used to be in Egypt Ashkenazi community. Some Ashkenazi went to Egypt. So over there, if the mokim they came from, they used to not eat rice on Pesach, but they went to Egypt, they went to settle there. Over there, they would be able to eat rice because they came lishtakei sham. They came to settle over there, so they're good. And if you have in mind to go back, everybody will have in mind to go back somewhere, hopefully to Yerushalayim. But even if somebody has in mind to go back after a few years, that's not called have in mind. Have in mind meaning immediately to go back. If you're coming to stay there for a year or two, that you become kansha mokim. After 12 months, for sure you become kansha mokim. If you're going to stay there for 12 months or more. But it says like this: then, if you a guest, then you can go according to your own minhagim. When you're going to according to your own minhagim, if you do things betzina. For example, if somebody, like I said, let's go back also to of tefillin. If somebody coming to put tefillin in a shul, they don't put tefillin chol hamoyed. So you're going to say, I'm not mishtakeh in this community. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to become a member of this shul. I'm just a guest over here. But no, it's only Betzina, you could do that. But Faresia, you're not allowed to do against the minhag amokim. Close the door, please, over there. Aval bifneim yeshlochush lemachloikes im ishana miminhogam. Yeah, it says the memela you have to do kansha amokim afilu noagu lehokel kol sheken lahachmir. Okay, so according to this, if somebody going to a place, an Sefardi going to a community that they're all Ashkenazim over there and they don't eat the rice, but Faresia for sure he cannot eat his rice. The question would be now, what happened betzina? Can he eat in his own home rice betzina? Again, if we're talking about if he went to a community that all Ashkenazim, and you have also other minhagim. For example, I'm going to bring this because it's going to be nafkamina for later on. If somebody, a woman going to live in a community, they all put tichel on top of their sheitel. In such a community, her, according to her minhag, she goes with the sheitel. That's how it's bayod. It's 100% sanua. That's how the Ramo Paskin and many Paskin, sheitel is good enough. So she's going to settle in the community. They all wear a tichel over the sheitel. L'choira, she have to do like them, and l'choira the other way around too. If a woman that normally would wear a tichel over the sheitel come to the community, everybody wearing a sheitel, kansha amokim, you have to do like them, even lahokel, it says. L'choira, that's one of the halachas also nafkamina. So now let's see, so according to this, why some people still do according to their own minhag. Okay, so the Shulchan Aruch brings the same thing I just read. I'm just going to bring over here the Mogen Avram. Looks like the Mogen Avram and the Shach have some kind of machloikes theoretically in the pshat of the Rambam. Lamaisa though, what to do lamaisa, the all paskin the same thing. According to the Shach, it's only the shita of the Rosh, and according to the Mogen Avram, the shita of the Rambam and the Rosh. Again, like I said, there's no nafkamina lamaisa between Shach and the Mogen Avram. The paskin the same thing, and here's what the Mogen Avram says over here. In Shulchan Aruch it says, "V'hoylech memokem she'en oisim, lemokem she'oisim." You're talking about the Melacha Erev Pesach before Chatzois. So again, they do Melacha, lo ya'aseh. V'nagim olav chumra mokem she'yotza misham. Because the Machmer. So it says the Mogen Avraham on this, you have to be a Machmer. If you come from a place that don't work Erev Pesach before Chatzois, you're going towards the working over there, to be a Machmer, not to work. The Mogen Avraham says, only when you're going back to your city, Aval and daita lachzor, if you're going to a new community that you're settling over there, and over there they are working Erev Pesach before Chatzois, noig afilu kekule amokem sholach l'sham. Then you're going to go even kekule amokem sholach l'sham. So that's lamaisa. You're going according to minhag hamokem, even lahokel or lahachmer. Minhag hamokem is a very strong inyan. Okay, so according to this would be going back to the rice. You should not, if you're in an Ashkenazi community, as far as you're going to the Ashkenazi community, you should not eat rice. You might argue, okay, you want to eat befaresia, you want to make a big kiddush and invite everybody to Pesach to his house and serve them rice, but if he with his family quietly in his own house or apartment, he would be able to eat his rice. So says the Levush, if you mean to settle in this community, the Levush says you're not allowed to do a minhag and opposite in the community you are in, even in your own home. According to the Levush, again, if a Sefardi came to Ashkenazi community, I'm talking about full Ashkenazi community, he's the only Sefardi over there, he cannot eat the rice in his own house, even on Pesach, because that's the minhag hamokim. So you're not allowed to mashana minhag hamokim, afilu betzina. However, here is the something that we could a little bit bring over here, a leniency. The Kaf HaChaim brings a lot of poskim that they're basically saying, what we said, that if you mishtakeya, if you're going to settle in a community, you have to know according to minhagim ben lahakel ben lahachmir. We're not talking about the halachas, talking about minhagim. That's very important over here. If they have a minhag and they compromise on Shmiras Shabbos, you're not going to do it. It's not minhagim, it's halachas. We're talking about that everything is kosher both ways, just some noig like this, some noig like that. Then you're going to minhag amokim. And by the way, I just want to say, the Kaf HaChaim brings over here from Poskim Ponim Meirois, and for the Chidah, he says, I'm going to read you the Lashon inside. Dover Shemoron Matir Umuram Oyser. The Kaf HaChaim calls them the Ramo Muram. Morenu Ramo. If something that the Mechaber is Mekel, and the Ramo is Machmir, so the Ashkenazi that follows the Ramo, im Ashkenazi hoiro lehatir, be'Ashkenaz kemoron tzorich tshuva v'kapora. Meaning like this. So somebody, he living in Ashkenazi community, and came somebody to give him a heter according to the Mechaber, that they noeg this heter in different communities. It says tzorich kapora. You were going against the Ramo in his place. And something vice versa, and the same thing says the Chidah. Bottom line of here, it's mamash says tzarich kavod. You cannot put in a community minogim from a different community. It's mamash osur. You cannot mahapech. Again, whether against the Ramo, in the Ramo's place, against the Mechaber in the Mechaber's place, you cannot change.
By the way, this isn't just for Pesach. This applies to anything.
This, like I said, I'm focusing on rice and Pesach, but it's all a lot of halachas. It's a lot of halachas. Like I said, sheitel, wearing a sheitel, right. It's wearing tefillin in a place that don't, and a lot of halachas. Okay, so but here is the little over here. Some kavs chus, some leniency to do your minogim in your own house is like this. He brings the Kaf HaChaim brings over here from the Magen Avram, and many poskim, it's based on the Gemara and Yevomis. When there is an isur of lois is going to do, don't make agudas. Don't make in one community two different minhagim. It's not allowed to midaraisa. Lois is going to do. Al tasu agudas. Don't make different minhagim in one community. Only when there is one based in the city. There is one based in, and comes somebody says, no, I saw psak from the Mechaber to do differently, or even by the Sefardi, I saw psak from the Ramo to do differently. You cannot do this. That's the minhag hamokim that follow here, the Ramo or the Mechaber or whoever they follow, and you coming and changing it, that's lois is good to do. But the Gemara says in Yevomis, if there is two dinim in the city, there's no shaykh lois is good to do. Everybody follows his own beis din. So according to this, says the Shach brings over here that like in Yerushalayim originally in Eretz Yisrael, people used to follow the Mechaber. He was more the Ara the Yisrael, the Bes Yosef. But then when other communities immigrated to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, and Eretz Yisrael, the Yerushalayim in the north, they had their own base and they had their own kihila. Mimele, he says, everybody belongs to his own beis din. So Mimele, according to this, if somebody lives in a city that they have a Sfardische shul, a Sfardische beis din, so Mimele, according to this, he goes to daven, he attends to that shul, he could say, that's my city. My city is that my shul. The shul is like a city. He brings this also, this Indian. So he says then, Taka, he could eat his rice in his house because he belongs to the city of the minogim of the Sfardim. However, here's a shtickle problem over here. If, let's say, we have in the city over here, a few Sfardish shul. One in West Bloomfield, one over here. So let's say somebody is a Sefardi. You're going to say, I'm going to eat kitniyot on Pesach because I belong to those shuls, but he doesn't go to daven there. He goes steady to another Ashkenazi shul. According to this, so he cannot say, I belong to that city because you don't go to daven there. So you belong to the beis din of the Ashkenazi. Memele, he cannot eat rice in his own home. Here's another problem. Like I said, those halachas, usually people paskin by themselves without even learning them or asking somebody that knows psak halacha. I know somebody, he is mekel on kitniyos, eating kitniyos on Pesach, but his wife changed from wearing a tichel on her sheitel, wearing just a sheitel. like the city, like everybody in the city. So you're playing with the minhagim the way it's comfortable to you. The sheitel you make to where they like the Ashkenazim. You drop your tichel. The rice you make like the Sefardim. You cannot do this. That started the sastra. Either you make minhag Ashkenazim, either minhag Sefardim. You cannot do this. You can't say I belong to that beis din. And like I said, especially when you don't go to daven the shul, you go to daven the shul of the Ashkenazim. You have to al pi halacha, like says the levush. Even with sinner, you cannot eat rice. So it's very complex halachas. All I'm saying is people have to really pay attention.
Wait, so you're saying you can't mix minhagim?
You cannot mix minhagim, and you cannot just say there is an also more than
Not
that.
Not just for Pesach, for anything.
For anything, and more than that, I'll tell you. It's not as a pashut. If you have most of the city that do one minhag, they have one shul that just davening. Let's say there's a minyan over there. It's not such a pashut. You could say that's my beis din. I'll tell you why. One of its shuvas, he quotes over here. He says like this. He brings from Shuvas Ginas Verodim. He brings like this. Linyan Ashkenazim v'Asfardim shebirakodesh Yerushalayim. The kima shesh l'Ashkenazim beis havad levadom. When amurav im Asfardim hem nidonim k'shtei botedinim be'ir achas shekol kilo oiso kiminhoga. When ze shmulis is goydedum. ויש לאשכנזים מן הדין להחזיק בכל מנהגי האשכנזים כאילו היו בסוף היפרכיה שבאשכנז ככולנו כחומרויים. So it's like this. It says over here, you could argue even with that. If you have a little shul davening according to one minhag different than the rest of the city. But if you everything else you send your kids to the school of the Ashkenazim, you have one basin of the Ashkenazim, you have one mikveh of the Ashkenazim. I don't know if you could say over here. I'm not sure. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying something to look into. I'm not sure if you're going to say, since I have a minyan, I go once in a while to that minyan. The same idea, like I said, if you davening by the Ashkenazim, especially if most of it you do with the Ashkenazim, the schooling and the botedinim, it is me'urav boim. You are me'urav in the community that they have certain minhagim. So I'm not so sure if you could make it. All I'm saying is, it's not as a poshu to take this, I'm doing Sefardi, I'm doing Ashkenazi, and do whatever you want. Maybe it's kedai to go over those halachas for everybody, or ask a shaila before you do something. Also, one thing important I want to say, that's going both ways, Sefardim and Ashkenazim. I think some people are more Ashkenazi or Sefardi than the Jews. No matter what, we are Jews. Ashkenazi, you were born, or your parents are born somewhere, so you have some minhagim. But some people, they so much strong Ashkenazi or Sefardi that they forget sometimes halacha, it's offend the minhag. Forget what you have to do l'maisa. Doesn't mean if you Ashkenazi or Sefardi, you're going to go extreme ways, your ways. There is rules and regulations, how you do things with Pharesia, how you do things with Sinna, how you have to do things. So I think some people take their Ashkenazi or Sefardi a little bit more than they should. You have to remember, after all, this is just happened to be you're born in somewhere and you go to certain according to some minhagim of this place. But this also like has rules and regulations. So Memele, but definitely Befaresia, like I said, a few years ago they used to sell kitniyot over here on Pesach in one stop, and I always said that was wrong because even the some noyek to buy it, 95% of the community are not buying this. It has a lot of michshoiles because people don't know. They see kosher, they buy for them. I brought on the Maharil. It says chayav misa. Somebody over on this minhag. Since this chachamim answer that, it's called over divrachem chayav misa. So it's nicht as a poshut to mzalzel minhag. Oh, I do differently. It's nicht as a poshut. So that's why we should be very, very careful and do those things with koived roish. And like I said, either study the sugyas or ask a rav that knows the halacha and pasken the halacha l'maisa. Shkoyah.